Recognizes a gentleman from Indiana for 30 minutes.
Well, I thank the Speaker. I want to start out this evening by saying it's been a busy day here in the Capitol, and it's been a busy week. Some of it good, a lot of it not so good. But it caused me to come to the floor tonight to talk with my colleagues, talk with this Speaker about some of the things that really are our core values, not as Republicans or Democrats, but as Americans. First of all, let me say that all of us, Republicans, Democrats, all Americans, believe in diversity. And we are here as a Congress in so many respects to celebrate that diversity. A great free republic like this is going to have divergent views, divergent opinions. We're going to have diversity in just about everything we do, everything we say, everything we are. And that's okay. We are open to all races, genders, and other classifications. We're a family. We're one big national family. And like any other family, we're going to have our struggles. We're going to have our disagreements. But, Mr. Speaker, I'm here to remind us all tonight that that's okay. That's what it means to be in a free republic. Because the alternative is much, much worse. You see, the alternative is not being able to have diversity at all. Not being able to have an opinion different than the commander's at all. Not being able to have free speech or free association. Mr. Speaker, like any family, we face issues that make it difficult, especially seemingly these days, to find consensus. And like any family, we need to have open and honest dialogue, preferably without yelling or judging each other. Just like any other family, the neighbors down the street, so to speak, are going to be judging us, be watching us. And we don't have to worry so much about them, just to make sure that we continue having our discussion in a respectful way. And like I said, although we have severe disagreements over some issues, there are core things that we all should be about, regardless of our diversity otherwise. And I want to go through some of those tonight. For example, we believe in the power of the individual, not the power of government over the individual. This isn't a Republican theme. Although I am a Republican, this is a constitutional theme. This is what our founders fought for and wrote for in those two great documents we call the Declaration of Independence and our United States Constitution. We believe, as Americans, that people are capable of making their own decisions, for example, about health care, much better than government can. And, Mr. Speaker, we saw a great debate on that very point just a few hours ago on the floor of this very House. And it's because individuals, families, people can make decisions for themselves, regardless of whatever it is, better than a government can, that I oppose this Affordable Health Care Act, that we oppose Obamacare. We believe that freedom is more when government is less. This is called, books, the power of individualism over collectivism. And it's key. It's key to what this country's been successful about for over 200 years. But perhaps it's better to illustrate what I'm talking about when you realize what happens when freedom is absent. I want you to take a look at this view from space. This is the Korean Peninsula. And here is the dividing line between North and South Korea. It's obviously taken at night, and what you're seeing is an actual representation of the lights in both countries. Lights generated by power from electricity by power plants. Lights that in South Korea show bustling commerce, show vitality, show economic freedom, show individual freedom. But look to North Korea. Almost complete darkness. Only one group of lights right around here, the capital city of North Korea, where all the elites live, more specifically where all the government officials live, and more specifically than that, where all the government officials in a closed, tyrannical society live. Freedom is more when government is less, when government is limited. And we believe that the best way to ensure that government remains limited is to stop feeding it so much. And around here, the government's food, what it lives on, what it grows by day, is money. What it grows on is our tax dollars. And more these days, it's also growing on the taxes of individuals who don't even exist yet, Mr. Speaker, the children of tomorrow. Yes, they are being taxed here today. It's called our nearly $17 trillion worth of debt. And it's also represented by the $100 trillion of debt that's on its way. I'd like to get to that in a minute. Mr. Speaker, we believe that money is the fruit of our labor. We believe that money is our property. The same way this suit is my property, the same way that the land and homes that some of us may own are our property, the same way that a bicycle that we ride might be our property, so is our money. And we believe that when government taxes us, they confiscate our property, and that property is the fruit of our labor. We can't forget that. I remember recently being in my district, in specifically in the city of Lafayette, a great place, home of and West Lafayette, home of Purdue University. And I was struck at a Rotary Club meeting when I used the term confiscation to describe what government does with our property in the form of taxation, and got a good degree of pushback. Very annoyed with me that I would use such a word to describe what government does, confiscation of our property, when clearly the government needs our money in order to function. And that's true. Government absolutely has a valid role in a free society, as long as it remains in a limited form. And more, Mr. Speaker, what I see being debated here on this House floor, and when I see us enact in terms of laws, some new laws, some laws that have been on the books for years, is government being involved in things that the Constitution and the people and a free society do not require, in fact, should not have the government be doing. We believe that individuals, families, communities are always better at making decisions for ourselves than government is. Today, some believe that just having more power over your life, if they could have that kind of control, it would be that much better. For example, they believe they have the right to tell you what kind of light bulbs to buy. They believe that you should only be able to buy cars with certain gas mileage standards. They believe that they have a right to dictate what goes inside your child's lunchbox before they go to school. And at school, they believe they have the right to make sure your child learns certain things, but also to make certain that they don't learn other things. They believe that they can make better health care decisions for you than you can. They believe through the EPA that they can tell you how much electricity to use. And under the guise